Basque people visiting Iceland after 1615, a law which legally allows Icelandic people to oof those same Basque people on sight. This seems like overkill. How many of them were visiting Iceland? Must have been a pretty big problem. Back in the day, this law caused a massacre known as the Slaying of the Spaniards. Now, I know what you're all wondering, is the law still in effect to this day? And no, of course a law as barbaric as this was repealed a long time ago. And by a long time ago, I mean 2015. The USA having a civil war, meanwhile all the Europeans watching for military research. This must have been like the Roman equivalent of watching like gladiator battles, except this was like a full-scale war only like a couple hundred years ago. Gym membership almost 1800 years old in Greek. Hermenes has paid his entrance fee and is now a member of the sacred boxing society devoted to Hercules. This literally sounds like an ancient Greek fight club. Meanwhile, in ancient Greece, I've paid the fee and now I'm a member of this sacred boxing society devoted to Hercules. Meanwhile, us be like, I canceled my Planet Fitness membership. I no longer am a citizen of the Planet Fitness population. How sad. And we just don't do gyms the way we used to anymore. The Inuit staring at Europeans screaming, we're off to find the Northwest Passage. What did he say? I don't know. Something about unaliving themselves in the Arctic. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what they did. Whether it's going near the Northern Pole or the South, it's probably not gonna go very well for us humans. It's pretty dangerous. Especially if you were trying this like more than a century ago. The USA and an old colonial South Africa saying, what are you doing in Angola? Mind your own business, scream the Cubans. The Cold War definitely brought some people to very different parts of the world. Throughout the 70s and 80s, communist Cuba sent over 300,000 to intervene in the Angola Civil War. They were obviously trying to aid a communist faction to win in this African nation. It's just crazy this event brought those two places together. Meanwhile, in the Kowloon walled city, damn, you really live like this? And she honestly seems proud of it too. No matter how much I read about this place, I still cannot believe it was real. Even looking at cities by population density to this day, it's all the Philippines. It still has nothing on this once famed walled city. And it's not even close to, like, this is unheard of. We still don't even know exactly who was living there. It was such a small area, but so many people jammed together, like, we can only really guess. I mean, it's about 50,000 people, but we don't know who exactly was in it. Probably several criminals, people trying to hide from stuff, lawlessness. Welcome to antiquity. We have the Persian Empire. The Persian Empire, but ruled by a Greek guy. The Persian Empire, but ruled by another Greek guy. Another Persian Empire. Yet another Persian Empire. And finally, Super Italy. Italy on steroids. Man, oh man, was this time interesting. No, but there's still a lot of other things that are left off. That MFer back there, says 18th century British nationalists, is not real as they look at a platypus. And can you really blame them? Like, if someone just came out of the woods and said, yo, I saw this like weird fat creature with like a duck beak, weird hands, it's like a mammal seal, claws in the back, no one would believe him. I don't even know. I've never seen one in real life either. How do we even know this is real? These things also apparently produce milk from the pores of their skin. How many other mythical things can you slap on top of this creature? They do look pretty cute though. I kind of want one, although they're pretty dangerous. Slavic gods when everyone completely forgot about them, except for that old hag who lives in the woods and eats kids. Old hag? Who is that? I mean, I will admit she is pretty memorable. Lives in the woods and eats kids. How could you forget that? Baba Yaga in Slavic folklore is an ogress who steals, cooks, and eats her victims using children. Well, that's nice. Holy crap, this is horrifying. And I thought the Germans were the only one doing horrific folk tales. You exist. You have asthma. You overcome it by sheer force of will. You run for vice president even though you don't want to. You become VP. You then become president. You have one of the best presidencies of US history. You run for re-election. You get shot by some guy. You spend 1.5 hours absolutely roasting the guy who shot you. You leave. You make your own party. You lose because of the crappy nature of the Electoral College. You decide to go to the middle of the Amazon to get more stuff for the Smithsonian. You were the only one that survived. You try to fight in freaking WW1, but Buzzkill Woodrow Wilson wouldn't allow you to. You finally oof in your sleep because even death knew he would be destroyed if Teddy was awake. That's pretty much how one of our most OP US presidents rolled. That man had the craziest life. He really was trying to like lead a charge into WW1. Austria randomly punching Serbia. Germany and Russia start getting involved. Then the Ottomans and French start coming in. Meanwhile, Britain out of nowhere and Italy just like falling. But wait, here comes even even more. In spawns the USA. I guess I should have been more specific in the beginning. I don't think Austria was hitting Serbia out of nowhere. I mean, this dude's Archduke did just get oofed by somebody here. Pretty much exactly how WW1 started. It's funny that humans are still reenacting that to this day. Columbus discovered America. Vikings discovered America. No, Polynesians discovered America. No, Native Americans discovered America. I mean, technically, they're not wrong. Although, can you really use Native Americans? They weren't native to America yet when they first discovered America. They came over and crossed this Bering Strait here into Alaska, and then from there, they just started partying. Then they became Native Americans. I guess in a way, humans just discovered all places on Earth. Let's just keep it simple. It's 1687 AD, and the Venetians have just bombed the Turks. Yeah, let's try not to cry. Oh, this is really painful. Oh, man. I can't believe it looked this good in 1687. Obviously, it wasn't gonna look good the following year. Parthenon never hurt nobody. I mean, it still looks good, but it doesn't look like what it used to. History books, for some reason, when asked why the 7 Years' War and Napoleonic Wars aren't called World Wars, always two there are. No more, no less. Because technically, if we counted both of those, we would be on World War IV waiting for World War V. Although, WW5 sounds pretty cool. I've mentioned it before, but I still kind of feel like the Napoleonic Wars can't be considered a World War since it was like a series of wars that stopped and started. The 7 Years' War, though, that could be World War I. There were definitely global conflicts, though, that's for sure. They could be considered world wars. It's over, Napoleon. I have the high ground, says the British. You underestimate my cavalry, he responds. And here we have Napoleon versus Wellington. Obviously, Waterloo was not going to be good for Napoleon. That's a nice argument. Why don't you back it up with a source? The British making propaganda, mocking Napoleon. My source is that I made it the frick up. Oh, okay, well that definitely is something. That is a source. Talk about the first short king ever. Short kings. We will rise again. Modern supercars. Great care has been taken in designing the aerodynamics of the vehicle as well as engine control and exhaust systems. Versus antique supercars. Throws back bottle of wine. I just put a freaking airplane engine in my Fiat. What else could you want? I don't care about its aerodynamics at all. I want to see what's gonna happen. This baby's literally gonna fly. You started the Industrial Revolution, says Germany. Yeah, responds the British. That means we have a head start and no one will ever catch us. Right? Oh, poor Britain. I think they are sadly mistaken. I can understand their logic, though. They probably did think no one was going to catch them. Another country underestimating Germany. The British anthem, Long Live the Monarch. The French anthem, Freak the Monarch. Meanwhile, the Dutch anthem, I, with the German blood in me, put my loyalty in the monarch of Spain. Yeah, I think the Dutch are a little bit confused, but they have had quite the history, so I understand. Meanwhile, then there's the Spanish anthem. How beautiful. That's because the Spanish anthem has no lyrics. What separates men from animals? It's literally just the Rhine. Not gonna lie, I wasn't sure what side we're talking about until I noticed Swole Doge's helmet. They're talking about this side of the Rhine. That's the men, and this side is the animals, I guess. Is that a philosophy still held today? All the world, when they see made in Czechoslovakia, literally just cries. Actually, I would love to poll everyone around the world, like, do you want to bring back Czechoslovakia? It seems like a lot of Americans do, because for some reason we cannot stop mistaking Czechia for Czechoslovakia. Even I have done it way too many times. Not proud to admit it. Arabia before oil. Meanwhile, Iran before oil. I literally never realized this. Yeah, that is a little bit of a difference there, isn't it? Oh, cute. It's Genghis Khan with all his kids. One thing's for sure, I know he definitely had more than 4. A lot more. Maybe 4 times 4 million. Ah, now it's current Mongolia, still with his kids. What a combination. North Korea, China, Russia, and Iran. They've had quite the life, and they raised some interesting ones. I feel like Mongolia just stays so quiet nowadays. Well, besides building like a giant statue of Genghis Khan and then asking everyone to come visit, they do not mind the fact that this man might have possibly taken out 11% of the globe's population. It's all good, build the statue. Nobody. Meanwhile, Greek philosophers, do you guys ever think about oofing? I do imagine the scene in Barbie when they're just like partying it up every single night. That probably was how it was like in Greece, till the Greek philosophers had to come around and then ruin the whole vibe. That's why they never get invited to parties. I dub thee the German Democratic Republic. Oh, that's awesome. So that means I'll be a democracy, right? Right? Oh no, Germany. I think you are sadly mistaken as well. This is reminding me of one of the most beautifully named countries currently in the world, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. There's literally nothing more democratic than this place. Like I were talking North Korea, but they want to sell me a flight to Seoul. I want to go to Pyongyang. Why did they never erect a powerful civilization in Africa though? Hold on, just wait a minute. I've got a little bit more for you. How have you never heard of this? We still out here going? I ain't done yet. And then finally, arguably the most popular of them all. Oh man, that sweet, sweet Egyptian empire. Look at that thing go. I mean, that's not even all of them. We still forgot about Ethiopia. Ooh, look, it's Sir Cream. Egyptians saying the name back to Sir Cream. Sir Cream is the name of one of our zoo's hippos. Sir Cream is the name of one of our zoo's hippos. All hippos are called Sir Cream. I like that logic right there, Egypt. And apparently, to this day, hippos are still called this in Egypt, although just in a slightly different way. I love that story way too much. Horse of the River does sound pretty cool for hippos. Not as cool as Sir Cream, though. World War II, but cats. Ooh, we have America as a lion, Japan as a tiger, the UK as, is that a lioness? No, Germany as a panther. I'm not good with animals. And finally, there's Italy as pretty cute little house cat. This is definitely my favorite. They definitely did a great job of like causing a mess and then just running away. Where's the USSR as a Siberian tiger? Exist. Be the lieutenant of the Soviet Air Defense Force. Get a reading that 5 American nukes are currently headed to the USSR. Instead of following protocol, you don't report this, guessing it is an error. You just saved billions of humans from oofing and stopped a nuclear war from happening. Proceeds to get forgotten by history. Not if I have anything to say about it. Sir Stanislav Petrov will live on in infamy. This man really could be the reason why we're all here still today. What are you doing in California? Asks Spain. Here comes Russia screaming, mind your own business. Russia really was in modern day California. They were also in the Hawaiian Islands for a second there. It was really trying to get the exact opposite vibe as their other Russian colony in Alaska. Must have been kind of sick of the cold at that point. Meanwhile, during the Boxer Rebellion, you can't defeat me. The Great Qing, I know, but he can. Here comes bursting in this massive coalition of Austria, Italy, the USA, Japan, Belgium. This is just insane. Netherlands, Russia. The Boxer Rebellion was quite the time in history for China. It was literally just the Boxers in China versus all of this. There's a lot there. The 8-Nation Alliance. Man, things were not going to get better for China after this either. Big thanks to my patrons. DestineyF 9,000. Drew needs to pay his taxes. Why am I doing this? JohnDenver. I'm the kidnapper. Jack Traven. The knowing friends. InquisitorXarius. Carmel Saida. Australia is real. I am not a paid actor. Luxembourg 5610. Patrick RyeThePie. Subscribe to the GoodOldRyah. Twickenhamster. Become a patron by checking the description down below.